All right, good morning, everybody. It's Mike Ward from the Village Runner with Darren Griffith.
Morning, guys.
Village Runner with Village Runner South Bay, Redondo Beach. Anyway, today we're going to discuss some frequently asked questions or words and phrases that we kind of take for granted, and people, probably takes a little explanation, certain words. So Darren here will give us a few words and maybe explain the definitions.
When we're fitting shoes, people will come in and we'll find their right category. And we've talked about categories before, but what almost always happens, we'll say, well, you'll need a neutral shoe, say. And the first thing is, well, what's a neutral shoe? It's easy enough to explain. I'll use the Ghost here because it's a damn fine shoe. A neutral shoe really just means a non-corrective shoe. It's designed either for a high arch or for somebody who doesn't want any correction in their shoe. It just lets your foot kind of do what your foot's supposed to do. So neutral, easiest way to explain it is just non-corrective.
So what? So to your point, then, a shoe that's the opposite of neutral is corrective. What, like the Brooks Beast, for example?
That's the other end of that spectrum. That's a motion control shoe. That's that nth degree, that most massively corrected shoe. Usually we'll have a big old medial post. That's another phrase that comes up. Medial post is usually just a structure or denser foam on that medial or arch side of your foot to help prevent rotation or really crank that arch around to get that foot back up in line. Things are moving towards less shoe these days, but there's still the beast around to
a lot of podiatrists and stuff recommend.
It's a more shoe, just massively.
And that's going to keep you from, the idea behind that is keep you from pronating.
Pronating is another phrase that comes up. What's pronating? Pronating is really that arch wanting to flex in and quite often the ankle and knee flexing in with it.
Which is actually pretty common amongst a lot of runners.
Most people pronate to a certain degree. It's like 70%. Some correct it, some don't. It's really a preference thing. But for folks who really have a lot of rotation.
And so the opposite of pronate is something that I do. You want to explain that real quick?
The other end of that spectrum is supinate. That's for folks with either that high arch who tend to roll out or have that inclination on the outside or lateral side.
So you would see that, you would notice that too if on your shoes, you're like on the outside of your shoe totally gets worn down. Like a pronator would wear down the inside, supinator would load.
If they're not in the right shoe. The right shoe. Some folks are always going to supinate and the shoe's always going to wear on that outside, but we love to look at that wear pattern when you come in. We love to see your old shoes. That wear pattern will tell us a lot about what shoe might work better for you or if what you have is working. That tells a story, and we love to read that and help you pick the next shoe, or if you're already in the right shoe, that helps a lot.
So that's another good reason to come to the store, rather than order online.
You got to check the shoe. That's why we're here. So bring the old ones. We love that.
Oh yeah, that helps. So any other, I know you're going to talk maybe zero drop is another term.
That comes up. Drops in general are a conversation now that we didn't used to have before. Shoes were just very traditionally 12 millimeters. That heel is about half an inch higher than the forefoot. There are shoes now like Ultras, Hokas, a lot of the Sauconys have dropped that offset down. Ultras are all level as a zero drop, and that really just means that the heel is the same level as the forefoot.
So it's in millimeters, right? Usually. So
usually millimeters, so 0 millimeters.
To what, like 12 or 13? What's the biggest drop shoe we have?
Right now 12. I think the women's Nimbus was 13 last year. That's a goodly amount of heel over that forefoot. And that's appropriate for some folks. There's reasons why there's different drops so that we can help address different preferences. If you have a sore Achilles, then maybe a higher drop is going to help. If you've got sore knees, lowering that drop can help. And that's why we're here to help guide those choices a little bit and find the recipe that works best for you.
All right, great. I think that's probably enough. That's a definition overload for the day.
Enough for now, anyway.
We'll see you back next week.
Thank you, guys.